Who is really pulling the strings of your mind? Great question. Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, TikTok. You're watching live with LWL Lindsay with Love, and today is June 3rd, 2025. Holy cow, we are almost halfway through 2025. How are you doing? Are you transforming your reality, or are you stuck in the same energetic loop? We're going to talk about that today. If you are new here, hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet, and I do that by reminding you how energetically powerful you really are. You are already there. You don't need to do anything extra special. You don't need to go to the gym and lift weights, but you do need to start to reprogram your mind so that you can actually succeed in life. So I will help you release your limiting beliefs and do just that. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose, belly nice and full, sighing it out of the mouth. If you are interested in learning from me, learning with me, hanging out with me, I do host a spiritual and transformative community called the Cosmic Collective, where I'm not really teaching necessarily spirituality, but I will teach you your energy so you can connect with your higher self, and then you can be the captain of your own ship. Oftentimes my members are asking me, well, what do you think of this? Can you help me understand this better? And I say, what does your intuition tell you? You know the answer. Your higher self knows the answer to any question you could ever ask it. So that's what we're doing inside of the Cosmic Collective. It is a very transformative space. You're going to come in, you're going to gain confidence, gain security, gain empowerment, and all the most beautiful things that life has to offer so that you can manifest it all. All right, let's go, you guys. Good morning to VIP Catherine on the chat. Good morning, VIP Deborah. Thank you for the heart me. Good morning, Kimberlyn. Good morning, Purple. Good morning, Darth. Good morning, VIP Aaron is in the house. It's been a minute, my friend. It's nice to see you here. Good morning, Suzette, Kenya. Good morning, Billy Boy. Good morning, Yadira. Oh my gosh. If you're new, please say hello. Good morning, VIP Mel Al is in the house. Good morning. All my friends are here. Let's get going. Okay. And Sarah, good morning on, oh, not Sarah, it's Deborah writing it on YouTube. I just assume it's Sarah. I'm like, good morning, Sarah on YouTube, but I'm sure she'll pop in so I could say good morning to her as well when that happens. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. I always want to talk about, actually. VIP Catherine says, I sent out the bat signal on Discord, so hopefully everyone finds you. Thank you, VIP Catherine, for that. Yeah, I was a little bit late to my show today. It's been interesting getting back into my routine. I feel just like, still kind of like, whoa, whoa, what just happened? In all the best ways, right? In all the best ways, but simply just getting back into like the morning swing of things has been a little bit interesting, to say the least. Okay. So today I'd like to share with you, love the hair. It's beautiful as always. Well, thank you for that. VIP Aaron says to VIP Catherine, thanks, ma'am. That's how I saw it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for looking out for each other. So I was reading an email this morning. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, look at this. I didn't know what that would look like, but that is something quite spectacular. Thank you for that, VIP Deborah. I was reading an email this morning, and it was from Tim Denning, and he was talking about another entrepreneur that he found a post from or something on LinkedIn, and they were talking about how most people, which is like kind of is wild to me, but I guess most people maybe are still asleep or they're not learning about this stuff, but most people still don't realize that our minds are being controlled. Like, you are either the captain of your ship or you are not, and somebody else is manning it and steering the wheel, right? So, wow, VIP Catherine says, I know, that was like really spectacular. So I saw this email this morning, and then I was reading, I was finishing reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, no, sorry, Think and Grow Rich. I realized I hadn't finished the book. I was at like 96% finished. So I was like, oh, I better just finish this book up, because I wanted to restart reading it, but I was like, well, I'm not going to restart it if I didn't finish it, right? So I started reading the rest of the book, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a good thing I read this part. And so I want to share with you what I read this morning, and it's really going to be mostly about excuses and understanding that excuses are part of our programming. There's many different forms of excuses. The book outlines a bunch, which are awesome. I'm going to read them to you. But ultimately, the whole conversation is going to be around who is bossing your life, who is controlling your mind. There's so much text, there's so much evidence at this point, currently in this reality, that our thoughts control our reality. Our thoughts create our reality. And if you are not controlling your own mind, that means somebody else is creating your reality. Somebody else is creating your reality. Stop. You're better than that. You're here, right? You're not average. You're here. We're extraordinary here. We realize the power that we have inside of us. And so we decide to create our reality through our thoughts and through our aligned actions. And so That's what we're going to talk about today. The older generation is hard to wake up for sure. Maybe. I don't know. I don't try to wake anybody up. I simply share my knowledge, and I trust that the people that want to hear it will find it. My mom is considered the older generation. My partner's mom is considered the older generation, and both of them have been quite open at times to what I have to say. Now, will I say that they're like gung-ho practicing what I kind of preach every day? Probably not. But multiple times during our trip, my mom was like, I manifested it. And in fact, she was manifesting kind of like negative things. Like she manifested rain. She manifested like something. I was like, my sister and I were like, Mom, stop. Stop manifesting. Only say good things. And she's like, you're right. You're right. I keep saying the opposite. And I'm like, yeah, because it's so much easier to manifest bullshit because half of society or more lives in bullshit. They live in poverty. They live in unfulfillment. They live in lack. They live in struggle. Why? Why? Because it's a collective mentality and it's programmable. And so you can switch your programming at any moment. Does it take a little bit of consistent effort? Will it take a little bit of time? Sure, probably. I don't know. I don't know you and your mental fortitude. VIP Jamie is in the house, but I do know that any single soul can reprogram their mind if they put themselves in the position to want to do it and desire to do it and focus on doing it. DTM, good morning. VIP Tony is in the house. Good morning, Tony. Let's see. VIP Catherine says, to Mystical Blue Eyes, we all awaken on our own time. We aren't supposed to awaken in this lifetime. We aren't all supposed to awaken this lifetime. Yeah, I agree with that. VIP Brenda says, I catch myself saying the opposite of what I want to manifest and stop myself so hard to change. Release the idea that it's so hard to change. That's another program, right? It's so hard to change. Well, says who, right? Says who? Your mom? Your dad? Your teacher? Who says it, right? So you get to decide how hard or easy it is for you to change. You really do. I did it here. Right, VIP Brenda, you got this. Every single one of you can do it. I know, the reason I know this is because I did it for myself. I used to live not in a good life. Not that I had like an awful life, you guys. It just simply wasn't what I wanted. And it was not like, in my mind, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm doing here. Like, this is lame. Like lame. I don't want to be lame. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be cool. I want to make an impact. I want to leave people in a better position than when they met me. I want to bring value to the planet. And when I started to switch that mindset is when my whole life started to change, and it's constantly growing at this point. I shared with you guys yesterday how my flywheel is spinning, which means I'm expanding and evolving and increasing in my abundance every single day, even on the days that I do nothing. Zero, zilch, nothing. Why? Because I understand the power of my mind and I understand the power of energy, how it really works. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to explain it to you. Jen, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show, Jen. And you are, VIP Deborah says. And I am what? Oh boy, I talk too fast. I don't talk too fast. I just get going in a flow state and I'm like, what did I say? Good morning, DTM. Good morning, Tony. Thank you for your beautiful light. Thanks for being here. Yours too. Yours too. Okay, so let's get going on with the show. This is what, I want to open my notes. There's a couple of things. I was listening to Simon Sinek this morning. You guys know that every single morning I fuel my mind. I was listening to something by Jim Rohn yesterday, and he was talking about how successful people know that the first 30 minutes of the day when they wake up is going to make or break their day. They're either going to thrive or simply survive. And they know that the way to set themselves up to thrive is by fueling their minds with something positive. So you better believe every single morning when I wake up in the morning, I don't even check my TikTok anymore. Why? Because I know people are following me. I know I'm going to wake up to a bunch of comments. I know I'm going to wake up to tons of notifications. I just know. So I'm like, okay, check that later when I have time to answer back, to reply to people and all those things. I wake up, I grab my Kindle, and today I finished Think and Grow Rich. And then when I was getting my steps in, I was listening to Simon Sinek. Why? Because I'm a successful person. I want to thrive. So if all successful people tell me that the one way that they start their day is by fueling their minds with positivity, guess what I'm going to do? Fuel my mind with positivity. It's really not that complicated, but people want to make it so complicated. Don't make it complicated for yourself. Take the simple things, implement them into your life, and watch it expand and evolve in ways you would have never imagined, okay? Imagined, not imagined. What, Lindsay? Okay. So Simon Sinek says this morning, I didn't jot down a lot of notes like I typically do. I was just like vibing in my own energy, getting my steps in. But he was talking about people that are successful and people that just, they're not waiting to like build they're not waiting for something to happen where all of a sudden they're going to have confidence. They realize that taking action builds confidence. Now, Cosmic Collective members, in this month's lesson, I taught you or gave you many ideas on ways to cultivate your faith, your confidence, your respect, your self-trust, your willpower, your courage, a few others like your intuition, right? So make sure to listen to that lesson and start implementing, because those are your energetic superpowers. Those are your energetic superpowers. Anybody that's listening, even if you're not in the Cosmic Collective, those are your energetic superpowers. Patience, right? Intuition, willpower, trust, self-trust, specifically faith. So when you cultivate these powers, you win. Simon Sinek says, I was listening to him this morning, I don't even know what the video was titled, but he says, waiting does not produce new data, waiting strengthens doubt. So a lot of people are waiting for something to happen for them to take the next step. They're waiting for confirmation. They're waiting for permission from their mom, from their dad, from whoever. But if you think about the times where you've been really successful in life, it likely just was you taking a giant leap of faith. And you were like, I trust in myself, I believe in myself, I know myself, so I think I can get this done. You didn't wait around for new data to say, oh, now's the time. Because you're never going to be ready. There's no such thing as ready. And when you wait around, you just strengthen your doubt, the doubt within you. And doubt is the opposite of self-trust. And you need self-trust to cultivate your faith. And you need your faith to manifest your best life. It's all connected. It's all energetically connected. That is why I always say, if you were to simply manage your energy, you could get anything. The boyfriend, the girlfriend, the soulmate, the money, the things, the car, the house. You don't need tons of business courses, a business degree, and all these other things. You simply need the right energy. And any single person can do it. Any single person. Simon Sinek also says, action disrupts the narrative of helplessness. I thought that was interesting. Action disrupts the narrative of helplessness. So many people are living in a victimhood mentality. That is why they stay stuck. I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that, I can't do this, if only this, if only that. And we're going to segue into that right now. Okay, we're going to segue into that right now. Good morning. Hello, Red. Welcome to the show. DTM says, VIP DTM says, absolutely. Moving forward, VIP Deborah says, okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm always moving forward. I'm always moving forward because I kind of figure, like, why not just give it a shot? If I have something in my heart, I'm going to give it a shot. And if it works out, cool. And if it doesn't, then I at least have some things that I can learn and take away and try again for the next thing, right? All right, so this is at the very end of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read the book, I recommend reading it like 10 times, not just once. This is my second time reading it. I'm going to start it again today at some point. So he says, so at the very end, he says, you have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your thoughts. This is the most significant and inspiring of all facts known to man. It reflects man's divine nature. This divine prerogative is the sole means by which you may control your own destiny. If you fail to control your own mind, you may be sure you will control nothing else. Nothing else. I don't know why people don't try. Why don't people try to control their own thoughts? I don't know why. I don't understand it. I think the only thing I could think is that somebody has in their mind decided it's too hard, I can't do it, and that's why they just don't try. They just don't try. We've got a flash goal. You guys want to play? We need 8 heart me's within the next 15 minutes. Let's try. Let's go. Why not? Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, my Kindle shut off. Let me restart. Oh, unlock. Okay. Thank you, VIP Mel Al. Thank you, VIP DTM. Thank you, VIP Brenda. Oh my gosh, you guys are on it today. Tony's in the house. Good morning, Tony. Thank you, VIP Jamie. Woo, 50% done already. You guys are fast. Okay. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, I keep getting it mixed up in my brain with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Think and Grow Rich. He says, if you must be careless with your possessions, let it be in connection with material things. In other words, he's like, look, if you can't manage all the things you have in your life, let it be the material things that fall away. Let it just be like you don't maintain your car, you don't maintain your bags in your closet. That's okay, VIP Deborah. I appreciate you sending me it early on. He says your mind is your spiritual estate. Protect it and use it with care to which divine royalty is entitled. In other words, like if you can only focus on managing one thing in your whole life, manage your mind, because all else things come from the mind, right? They say everything in this world or reality is created twice, first in the mind and then in the physical. If you can remember that, you would start to control your mind, because you don't want to manifest the shit you don't want. You want to manifest the things you do want. Just makes sense, right? Okay, so let's see. He talks about he gets like really serious in it, and he says that there's no legal protection against those who either by design or ignorance poison the minds of others by negative suggestion. He says it should be punishable by heavy legal penalties. In other words, if my little sister was like, oh, I want to do XYZ, and I was like, there is no way that's ever going to happen in your lifetime. I have poisoned her mind because I was negative toward her, and I should be punished by law. That's what he's saying. That's how serious he takes it, and I agree. I mean, of course we have free speech, so there's that. But we all each have free will, which means we can just tune out the negative naysayers, right? We can tune out the negative people. If it was me and I was starting all over in this journey, I would cut out like every single negative person in my life real fast. I would quit my negative job. I wouldn't just willy-nilly quit my job, but I would try to, if I was in a negative position at work, I would start to find a better work environment immediately. I would start putting my resume out there. I would figure out which groups I want to belong to on the internet, which ones are, even just my name being in that group is negative for my energy. I would just start flipping things real fast. Because the second that you start to do that, you're energetically cleaning, right? You're cleaning house. VIP Deborah says, I can't even imagine not listening to myself, manage my thoughts. I would be stagnant. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and that's why most people are. That's why most people are living a very average or less than average life, is because they don't manage their own thoughts. They turn on the news and it's like, oh, so-and-so said on whatever news channel that this is what it is. And I'm like, okay. Like literally, okay. Whatever. It's their opinion, right? It's their opinion. You can agree with it, but you also have a mind of your own that's called critical thinking skills. And I think a lot of people forget that they have the power to critically think for themselves. Now, it's good for the people and the powers that be for people not to have critical thinking skills, because then they're easily herded like sheep and told what to do, and it's quite simple for them, right? Whatever. Anyway, I still cannot believe that people don't recognize this, but I'm going to keep going. So Napoleon Hill is really interested in Ford because Henry Ford, because Henry Ford created the first automobile and the first assembly line and has done a lot from like an industrial standpoint for the universe. And he says that Ford has a mind. Okay. He's just kind of talking about the like Ford and like his ability to kind of be such an empowered person. And he says Ford has a mind and controls it. The others have minds which they do not try to control. Ford has a mind and controls it. The others have a mind which they do not try to control. You are extraordinary. You are listening to me because you are extraordinary. I don't live on the frequency of average. I am not a basic bee. So you have got to decide, today is the day, especially if you've not been working on controlling your mind for quite some time, that you are going to start working on it. Understanding what thoughts come through your brain and becoming very aware of them. Are they propelling me toward the reality I'm creating, or are they blocking me from marching forward toward the reality I really desire to live in? Peach, wow, Peace Richard, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the roses. That was a struggle. I'm like, Peach. Anyway, okay. He goes on to say, so in, this is Think and Grow Rich, he goes on to say, mind control is the result of self-discipline and habit. You either control your mind or it controls you. Now, how can this be? How could it be that you either control it or it controls you? Well, your subconscious mind controls 95% of your thoughts and your habits. You're on autopilot. So you either decide to program your subconscious mind, you control your mind, or it controls you, which means everyone else that has programmed you from ages before 0, before you were born, to the age of 7, which is most of your programming, is you being controlled by other people's thoughts. But they're not other people's thoughts, they're other people's opinions. Opinions. You grew up with a parent who was like, you're never going to make it. A teacher told you one day when you were little, like, you can't be an artist. And then all of a sudden you stop painting because one teacher who probably has like their own insecure issues said something wild to you as a little kid, right? And so who is actually controlling your mind? Is it you? Did you put the code in? Did you put the program in? Or did somebody else? It's probably a little bit of both, right? Unless you've been practicing this for quite some time, it's probably a little bit of both. If you haven't been practicing this at all, and it's the first time you've ever heard this, then you're likely programmed pretty much by somebody else for the most part. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. You can change it. My mom programmed me to believe we never had enough money. Still on this trip, you guys, my mom was talking to me about money. I sat her down on our balcony and I was like, Mom, I never want to hear you talk to me about how you are concerned about money for your future. You have 3 capable kids. Each of us has a partner. We have more than enough money for our family. If you ever need help with money, call me. Stop worrying. There is no point. You're doing great. Live your life. And she was like, I know, but I still worry. I was like, Mom, once again, and I had to get really stern with her. I was like, I can't keep having this conversation with you. I don't give a shit if you need my help with money, Mom. Call me. You birthed me. You gave me life. Can give you a few dollars here and there. Like, it's not that serious, right? It's not that serious. So he goes on to say there is no hallway compromise. It can't be that you either control your mind or somebody controls a little bit. You got to really go hard in the paint. He says the most practical of all methods for controlling the mind is the habit of keeping it busy with a definite purpose backed by a definite plan. I thought that's quite interesting. So what is your purpose? What is the reality you are creating? And do you have a plan? And if you have a plan, then your mind is very focused on the creation of that reality, which means you don't have time for negative thoughts to creep in, right? He says that study the record of any man who achieves noteworthy success, and you will observe that he has control over his own mind. Moreover, that he exercises that control and directs it toward the attainment of definite objectives. Without this control, success is not possible. VIP Mel says, it's so hard to reprogram parents currently there. Yeah, I just keep telling her the same thing. Eventually, it's going to be her choice whether she decides to like listen to me or not. Like, I can't erase her worry, but I can constantly reaffirm to her that, thank you for the heart me. Are we still in our, we're still on our, oh, did we reach our goal? Oh, it says start a new goal. We must, has it been 15 minutes? I have no idea, you guys. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, we still have a flash goal going on. We need 3 more heart me's. I think it looks like in 6 minutes, So I'm not trying to reprogram my mom because I realize that this is, for whatever reason, like a really deep-rooted thought in her brain, a belief, truly a belief. But the interesting part is that's why part of it was why I wanted to talk to my grandma when I was home. And I was like, Grandma, like, have we ever been in a position from a family perspective, like our whole family, someone in our family, they literally were just like really poverty stricken? And my grandma was like, no, like, yeah, we've been hard workers and we've had our highs and our lows, but like, no. So I don't know where my mom is getting this idea, right? But she's thought it and she's thought it and she's thought it, and now it's a belief. And so all I can do is reaffirm to her that I'm here for her and I can help her if she needs it. So I'll keep doing that until she just stops talking to me about it, I guess. VIP Catherine says, yes, proud of you. Talks like that with parents are needed. Sometimes, but always healthy. Good morning, Rhonda's in the house. Yeah, I had to just sit her down. I go, Mom, listen here. Shay Shay's in the house. Good morning, Shay Shay. My mom is the same. So weird, Rhonda says. Yeah, I don't know. Just people have different beliefs, I guess. It's okay. Mystical Blue Eyes says, it's wild. I've been legally blind all my life. I couldn't get stuck in the program. Oh, interesting. Huh, I could see that. Maybe by hearing though, I don't know. Do you have like a heightened sense of hearing? You hear, you would have to just be really mindful around what you consume through your hearing, I guess. But that's an interesting thought. Okay, so then he talks about this thing called 57 Famous Alibis by Old Man If, right? He says, people who do not succeed have one distinguishing trait in common. You don't have to call yourself out, but just, open your ears, actively listen. Hear with your ears, listen with your body. He says they all know the reasons for failure and have what they believe to be airtight alibis to explain away their own lack of achievement. He said some of these alibis are clever and a few of them are justifiable by the facts. But alibis cannot be used for money. The world wants to know only one thing: have you achieved success? He says a character analyst compiled a list of the most commonly used alibis. As you read the list, examine yourself carefully and determine how many of these alibis, if any, are your own property. What does he mean by that? You're like, how can an alibi be my property? Well, if you control your mind, then isn't all of that that's in your mind your property? So are any of these excuses, these alibis, something you're owning currently? And if you are, then it's time to release them, right? He says, remember too, the philosophy presented in this book makes every one of these alibis obsolete. So what he's saying is, if you have any one of these alibis and you were to go reread the book, you would realize like they're not real. Like you can't use that as an alibi, okay? So here they are in their entirety. And I'm gonna read them quickly because there are 57 of them. This is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There are 57 of them. So we're gonna get going. Is it by Napoleon Hill? Am I making this up, you guys? Right? Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, Napoleon Hill, okay, just making sure. Because Bob Proctor talks a lot about this book, so then I was like, wait, this is not Bob Proctor. Okay, so first one is, and I'm just gonna so listen up, tap in if you want. If I didn't have a wife and family, if I had enough pull, if I had money, if I had a good education, if I could get a job, if I had good health, if only I had time, if times were better, if other people understood me, if conditions around me were only different, if I could live my life over again, if I did not fear what they would say, if I had been given a chance, if I now had a chance, if other people didn't have it in for me, if nothing happens to stop me, if only I were younger, if I could only do what I want, if I had been born rich, if I could meet the right people, if I had the talent that some people have, if I dared assert myself, if only I had embraced past opportunities, if people didn't get on my nerves, if I didn't have to keep house and look after the children, those darn kids, right? If I could only save some money, if the boss only appreciated me, if I only had somebody to help me. By the way, if you need somebody to help you join the Cosmic Collective for only $49 a month, I will help you reprogram your brain and I will do it very quickly. If my family understood me, if I lived in a big city, if I could just get started, if I were only free, if I had the personality of some people, if I were not so fat, if my talents were known, if I could just get a break, if I could only get out of debt, if I hadn't failed, if I only knew how, if everybody didn't oppose me, if I didn't have so many worries, if I could marry the right person, if people weren't so dumb, if my family were not so extravagant, if I were sure of myself, if luck were not against me, if I had not been born under the wrong star. People are even like, my astrology won't let me. And I'm like, please. If it were not true that what is to be will be, if I did not have to work so hard, if I hadn't lost my money, if I lived in a different neighborhood, if I didn't have a past, if I only had a business of my own, if other people would only listen to me, if, and this is the greatest of them all, I had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Then I might have a chance to profit by my mistakes and learn something from the experience of others, for I know that there is something wrong with me, or I would now be where I would have been if I had spent more time analyzing my weaknesses and less time building alibis to cover them. Mic drop, Napoleon Hill. I was like, hell yeah. So there's that. There's that. I don't know if maybe I read too fast, but hopefully you can catch up on the, do I have the page number for these by chance? VIP Aaron, let me see. Chapter 15. Is there really, well, the hard part, oh geez. So the hard part is this is Kindle, so I don't know if the pages are the same. Are you on Kindle, VIP Aaron? It's chapter 15. How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear, chapter 15. And it's mostly toward the end of the book. It's like the last few pages of the book. VIP Deborah says, I think I've lived almost all of those through my lifetime. Yeah, probably. For all of us, right? We've all used excuses. Every one of us has had an excuse for something. I'm I think still to this day, probably sometimes I have excuses for things. But that doesn't mean you just completely stop. You've got to keep going. You recognize like, oh, maybe that was a lame excuse. Maybe I was just using that excuse to cover up some fear. Or maybe I was like using this excuse to cover up the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing, or I don't know how, or I'm nervous or whatever. But you still keep going. VIP Catherine says, I love being Leo. That one cracked me up. I was like, of course, there's always a person that follows astrology that's like, well, it's not my fault. It's my Scorpio moon. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, what? Like, of course, that does influence you. However, like, use it as a superpower. Every single astrology placement, every single person's birth chart is a part of their superpowers. It's a part of their superpowers, but if they don't know how to read it as a superpower, they're going to use it as a lame excuse to not blast off into the reality that they really want to create. So don't use your birth chart as a lame excuse. I really don't like that. VIP Deborah says, I can think as I do the counteractive every one of those, wait, what? I can think this, I can do the counteractive every one of those negative positive. Oh yeah, you can counteract every single one of them, right? It's like, well, this, you can do the opposite. Yeah, exactly. L King, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. VIP Deborah, mind blown. The ifs are the worst. The chapter is good enough. Thanks. You're welcome, VIP Aaron. Yeah, chapter 15. How to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. And that whole chapter was like I almost stopped reading the book at that chapter. I actually did, and I went to it and I was like, oh, I thought I finished the book. I was like, wow, this is a really powerful chapter. Of course, they save it till the end. VIP Catherine says, that's why everyone should get your Know Thyself birth chart report. Thank you, VIP Catherine, for that. Yeah. Mel L, oh my gosh, girl, I'm writing yours right now and I can't wait to send it off to you. Woo! Woo! So, oh, wow. I actually wouldn't have guessed like half of your chart, so that's quite interesting. In a very positive way. In a very positive way, always. All right, so you guys, that's the show today. Don't let the ifs screw you over. If you are somebody who needs help reprogramming your subconscious mind, join the Cosmic Collective today. When you enter, there are already 11 spiritual lessons, plus an astrology lesson around money, plus additional resources, plus group energy healings and spiritual Q&As from me to you. And I'm not going to let you fail inside of that group. If you show up for yourself, if you participate, if you let me into your life just a little bit so I can understand what's going on, I will help you transcend out of any stuck frequency and actually move forward in creating your reality. Ooh, Mel, can't wait for you to get yours. I know. I'm like, I started really like diving into it yesterday and I was like, oh, whoa. Love it. VIP Deborah says, I'm still going back to my report all the time. Wonderful report. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that, VIP Deborah and VIP Catherine. And VIP Aaron and VIP Mel L. Okay, so for those of you that are interested, I would say join the Cosmic Collective. If you, I don't even know, like it's such a interesting space. There's a private Discord that you get access to immediately, and you get access to tons of different energies and knowledge and wisdom, super spiritual people inside, but you don't have to be super spiritual. You might just be learning, and that's okay too. Jamie, how cute, a little meerkat. That's so cute. Let's get out our, and Cosmic Collective members, reminder, we're spiritual Q&A, spiritual chat on Friday at 10 a.m., this Friday at 10 a.m. And if you do not want to join the Cosmic Collective, but you want to hang out with me and manifest with me, you can join the Manifesting Club at lindsaywithlove.com. It's all the way toward the bottom of the homepage. It's only $11 a month. Count them, $11, and you get access to the new moon and the full moon session. So our next Manifesting Club session is on the 11th at 10 a.m. under the full moon in Sagittarius. And people are manifesting like crazy inside. So for only $11 a month, I'm going to start offering like drop-in sessions too. If people want to pay extra and just drop in, that's fine with me. I'll take more money, no problem. VIP Mel L says to VIP Aaron, I'm going to feel so official to have mine. You're so cute, VIP Mel L. VIP Deborah says we have everyone's knowledge. If we have any questions or concerns, it's a collective. Yeah, and I was thinking about that today, VIP Deborah, when I was listening to Simon Sinek, because he was talking about the power of collective energy. And for those of you that are inside the Cosmic Collective, and for those of you that are inside of the Manifesting Club and hang out with me often, you know our power. You've experienced it firsthand multiple times, over and over and over again. And so when you set the power of a group, when you set the energy, the tone of the group, and it's in a high vibrational, optimistic, can-do, I believe in you positive way, guess what? Every single person is going to step into that frequency. So it's not just the energetic lessons inside the Cosmic Collective, right? It is the energy of our collective, which is the energy of leaders, the energy of people that believe in themselves, the energy of people that have self-trust, self-respect, are implementing boundaries, are manifesting their best reality because they're controlling their own minds. So yeah, super powerful. Love it inside. One of my favorite places to spend my day. All right, 100 VIP Deborah says, let's get going. Let's grab our journals. We're going to manifest together. This is per Dr. James Doty, neurosurgeon. He says, VIP Erin says, I've been so off lately, and I can definitely tell I haven't been as present in Discord community. Yeah, I was off for a while too, and I was like not necessarily disconnected, but not nearly as connected as I typically am with you guys. So I think now that we're all back, like I'm back in my routine, I think everyone else will kind of get back into theirs as well. So I thought that was interesting too, because I noticed a lot of people were like out of routine when I was out of routine. I'm gonna use orange today. All right, DTM Tony says, VIP DTM Tony says, energy of positivity and love, yeah. And success, right? Inside of the group, you are not average because you're learning this and you're implementing it in your life. And most people aren't even taking the time to understand that they are energy, nonetheless learn how to manage it, right? So I love that for all of you. All right, so step one, Dr. James Doty, neurosurgeon, says, our bodies physically change, they alter when we're manifesting. He says, we go from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic. We leave fear, we enter the state of love and faith. Makes sense? He says step one in his manifesting formula is to write down what it is you desire. I'm going to ask you, love, health, wealth, success. Amen to that, VIP Catherine. Love that, exactly. I'm going to ask you to write down what it is you desire and add in your 5 senses as best as you can. Why? Because in step 4, we will be acting out a scene. And when you know what you're meant to see and hear and feel and taste and touch, you can go into the scene and be a very good actor or actress quite quickly, right? Michelle, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show. Step 1, I'm going to write and speak out loud what I'm writing so you can understand what I mean. I vividly see. I'm already seeing. I'm already seeing my experience. So what do you see? I vividly see myself interviewing an interesting person. If you want to be interviewed by me, you want to share your spiritual experience, your healing experience, maybe a very kind of extraterrestrial, kind of unexplained experience, something like that, timeline jumping, quantum leaping, whatever it is, please email Lindsay at lindsaywithlove.com. I vividly see myself interviewing an interesting person. And I can hear myself having an empowered, informational, and transformative conversation. And I feel so proud and fulfilled, I really do. That I'm helping so many people heal and manifest their best lives. It's a win-win. I get to do what I love, which is help transform people's lives, lift them up, be their hype person, help them realize how powerful and worthy and deserving they are because they're here on this planet at this time. That's something that fuels my soul. And then I get to meet a lot of interesting people because this is what I love to do. And then I get money because these very interesting conversations are being broadcasted out and other people like to hear them and listen to them, and I get rewarded for it. It's a win-win. Okay, so when you're manifesting, try to make it a win-win for everybody involved so that you can manifest it faster and easier. All right, step 2 is to read it silently. Step 3 is to read it out loud. So please do that now for yourself. And then step 4 is we are going to act out a scene. So for me, you saw that I vividly see myself interviewing somebody. So in my scene, I'm going to be looking at somebody, interviewing them. And I can hear myself having a transformative conversation. So in my scene, I will be talking to that person. And I feel so proud and fulfilled. So I'll tap into that energy of being proud and fulfilled that I have helped so many people, right? So get your hand chakras going. Place them on the heart. Breathing into the front of the heart chakra. Exhaling the energy through the nose out of the heart chakra. So visualizing the energy flowing out of the heart. Receiving energy into the heart chakra. Opening it up, big, 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 wide, wide, wide. Touch the central sun. And on the exhale, the energy from the central sun enters your heart space. You're exhaling through your heart chakra and you're giving back to the universe. This is also a time where you can let out any little dust bunnies if you feel like you're a little bit energetically imbalanced, whether it's tension in the body, maybe a negative thought, maybe some self-doubt, whatever it is. One more deep breath into the front of the heart chakra, receiving energy in. And on the exhale, bringing the energy from the grand central sun and exhaling it through your heart space. Bringing your awareness and your attention now to the back of the heart chakra, breathing into the back of the heart chakra, receiving love, and on the exhale, giving love out of the back of the heart chakra, breathing into the back of the heart chakra, receiving confidence in. Touching the central sun, and on the exhale, you're bringing that powerful energy of the central sun back to your heart space, releasing love back to the universe, letting any little dust bunnies out if you need to. One more deep breath into the back of the heart chakra on your own. Exhaling on your own. And now you're acting out the scene. So you know what you're doing. Make sure to move your body. I'm going to be moving my body. Your eyes are closed, you won't see me, but I am moving my body. That's it. That's all you have to do. So I pretend I have some headphones. I don't have headphones. I don't know if I even need headphones, but I just put them on because I feel like that's something that maybe I would do if I'm doing some sort of like recording, even though I'm not in like a music studio. And then I turn my body as part of my acting, and I start to talk to the person. And I'm living, I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. Wow, that's so amazing. And I'm pretending they're telling me something very fascinating, very interesting. And that's it. And then I say, thank you for coming on the show. I talk about how I can't wait to cross promote the conversation on YouTube and on TikTok with them. I visualize it getting tons of views so more people can learn this information and this knowledge. That's what I do. That's it. VIP Jamie says, Lindsay live on the phone, replay from yesterday on the TV. LOL, the girls don't know which to watch. You've got 1 year on my phone, 1 year on the TV. That's like my biggest like nightmare. It's like people see me on their big screen TVs. I'm like, good morning. But you know what? Whatever. You got to do what you got to do. That's awesome, Jamie. I love it. Okay, you guys, let's get on the energetic wave. For those of you that enjoyed this show, you can click the follow button up here. I go live Monday through Friday around 9 a.m. Sorry, Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m.-ish. Sometimes I'm a little late to my own show, but I'm here. I'm posting content around astrology, subconscious reprogramming, and energy healing all the time as much as I can on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube at I'm Lindsay with Love, where I'm posting, I promise, oh my gosh, I have to get them done, extended forecast, extended monthly horoscopes where I'm going week by week and I'm really diving in. So the TikTok ones are nice and fun, but they're short and sweet because, you know, people on TikTok have a little bit lower attention span. If you want more, go to YouTube. They're not posted yet, but I'm going to start working on posting them today, tomorrow, and Thursday, Friday. They love it, VIP Jamie says. Who are the girls? Who are the girls, Jamie? Are there more girls? Invite them into the Cosmic Collective. All right, let's get on the energetic wave, you guys. This is going to set you up for a very powerful, high vibrational day. The dogs, they can be our mascot. I love that. How sweet. Aw, little doggies. Actually, big doggies. All right, let's go. Let's get on the energetic wave. I'm going to set you up for a really nice, powerful day, you guys. And if you ever fall off the wave, which means throughout the day you kind of hit a roadblock, you hit maybe a challenge, a little bit of tension, you could just remember that you were on this wave in the morning. You could just get back on, right? Closing the eyes, deep breath in through the nose, belly nice and full. Letting it go out of the mouth. Spine straight, legs uncrossed, breathing in through the nose. Letting it go. This is called a reset breath. You can come to it anytime you're getting a little frustrated, feeling a little bit annoyed, impatient. Breathing in through the nose, letting it go. Maybe today is the day that you decide that you are going to figure out the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Step 1 is always awareness. You need to build your awareness. Step 2 is always to understand the beliefs that you're working with or working up against. Step 3 is reprogramming. And step 4, once you do that, you are manifesting like a wild woman and you are winning at life, getting everything you want. And that is so much fun. Trust me, I know. I've done it all for myself. Placing one hand on the heart, on the solar plexus, one hand on the heart chakra, repeating these words out loud if you can, and only silently if you must, because the words that you speak have serious power. Serious power. Your thoughts have serious power. Your words have serious power. So say them with conviction from your solar plexus and love and intention from your heart space. I am strong and I can do this. Smiling big and showing me your teethers. I freaking did it. Why? Because I knew I could do it. I am strong and I created this reality. Smiling big and showing me your teethers. And why did I do it? Because I am worthy and deserving of it. And you take this thought, this feeling, this vision, whatever is next for you, you breathe it up the chakra system, giving it to God, Source, Universe, Creator, out of the crown, making it big, 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 wide, wide, wide. Touch the central sun with your vision, your reality, your life. This is your life. You get to choose. And on the exhale, you bring the vision down. You know it's on the way. You're patient. You're trusting. You're creating. You're taking action. You know, dropping it into the root. Good. Cementing it in a clockwise fashion. One more time. I'm doing it with you. Breathing in. Giving your idea to God, Source, Universe, Creator, out of the crown, big, 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 wide, 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 touch the central sun, and on the exhale, you bring it down, down, down the root chakra, down the chakra system, letting it trickle down the back of the spine, landing it in the root, good, cementing it in a clockwise fashion. One more time. I am strong, and I created this reality. Smiling big and showing me your teethers. And why did I do it? Because I, say your name, Lindsay, am worthy and deserving of it. Woo! You are on the energetic wave, my friends. I hope you have an amazing day. I truly hope to see some new faces inside of the Cosmic Collective. I hope to see some new faces inside of my ordering system for Know Thyself birth chart reports. They are super powerful, and once you know your energy, you can start to take steps toward creating your best reality. It is quite simple. Don't overcomplicate it. VIP DTM, thank you for the hearts. Have a great day. VIP Deborah, have a great day. Michelle, it feels productive. VIP Jamie, I love this. Love the way VIP DTM says. All right, you guys, have a great day. I will see most of you inside of Discord, Cosmic Collective members. I will see some of you on my TikTok page. I will hopefully see some of you on my YouTube channel, and I'll hopefully see some of you inside of my inbox that want to be interviewed, and inside of my Stripe, which means you have ordered something from me and have taken one more step closer toward creating your best reality. Have a great day. Oh, go on, VIP Aaron. I love that. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day, my YouTubers.